important in my life. And only later on did I make the step to actually commit myself to live that life. So now I live in a Focolare community since I was about 30 years old. I'm now 61. I came to Argentina 12 years ago, also as a part of this Focolare community. We have communities in most countries. It was begun in Italy in 1943 during the Second World War, started by a young woman named Chiara Lubick, who saw in the destruction of the war that everything was being destroyed. And she understood that the only thing that lasted was her discovery of God and God as love. She understood in a certain way through her life experience that God called her to try to bring the spirit of unity in the world, first in the Catholic Church, but also in dialogue with all churches, people of no religion, and etc. So now I'm happy to be here. Casually, one day I came across Carina's work on Instagram, and I found it very attractive, combining English and spirituality, because I also am teaching English, and I also try to live a spiritual life, obviously. So I simply sent a message to Carina. We connected, and we've had 2 wonderful chats to get to know one another. And so that's why I'm here today, trying to see if I can help something with English, but also it's going to be something useful for me because I'm also interested in connecting with people outside of my own spiritual circle. So nice to meet everyone, and looking forward to getting to know each of you more as we continue.
Well, thank you. And you don't feel shy or because, you know, there is a native speaker, but this is the beautiful thing of sharing, that all of us can benefit. That's why I love this word to share, because it means that each one of us can contribute with something, and everyone benefits from what the other says or gives, because I'm sure that you remember that when when I first met each of you, the first thing I tried to say is that this is a space in which way it is different. That our attitude is the most important thing here. To be open, at the same time to be empty, and to be receptive to whatever comes. And another thing that is very, very important is another word that we'll see a lot is trust. And it is not only, we can put after where we feel more comfortable with. We can say to trust, because everything is the same. It's the same to say to trust yourself or to trust God, because we are this, we are that, and all of us are this. So just be open, be receptive, be empty, trust. Another way of saying the same is trust your heart, or listen to your heart, or speak from your heart. This is why we are here.
Okay.
It's your turn, Annie. Or
I continues.
Yes, very
Okay.
good.
It's a fantastic history about you, Sherry. I like it so much. Your history. your life history. Okay, well, my name is Analia. I am 47 years, and I am a yoga teacher. I traveled to India 2 years ago and stayed there because I studied, and I stayed there 45 days. And what else? This travel changed my life, or the way how I see or saw the life, because in this place I met with God in all forms, to say God's. So I met a lot of people, different, very different, like me. So my mind was open, and I like to read a lot of books. So when I saw Carina in Instagram, I like instantaneously, immediately. So I try to improve my English, and it's very difficult. But I hope that one day I will go back to India. So I need to improve my English more. And spiritual books is my talent for studying English, because it's difficult to study English. So, but this way, and spiritual books is easier than the another way. So I didn't know if I understand me.
Yeah.
But I try to
Yes.
stay here.
Yes. You're speaking. Yes.
I live
Go
in
on.
Rosario, in Santa Fe, Argentina.
Well, thank you.
I have two son, adult son. I have two.
I didn't know that you told me that you have a husband. But
Yes, I have husband and two son. The first is Sophie. She is 17, and Santino is 15.
okay, they are teenagers.
Yes, teenager. Yes. I like the teenager. I am
Yeah.
very grateful.
Yeah. You know that I also have two sons, Valentino and Gianluca. They are a bit older than yours. They are 19 and 21. But God is giving me this opportunity also now. I have other sons and daughters, and because you know that another beautiful thing we learn, and not only we learn, but we experience, is the true meaning of the word family. That we are all family. And for me, you know that when you're open, everything comes to you and you receive life as it arises, as it happens. And every day is a miracle, and it's very beautiful. to live like this, to just be open to what life brings you and to try to do your best, and you become more used to walk with uncertainty. And always, this is for me the true meaning of being empty, that you always have space for something new or unexpected to come to your life. And and you're okay with it. And sometimes it's something that is very, very different from what we have been used to, because we are very used to control everything or to have everything planned in our lives. And if we have everything planned and structured and organized and a very tight schedule, we don't have time, or there is no space for God to operate and to bring us to what is best for us. So when I started this way of, let's say, integrating English with spirituality, or teaching English maybe, or help people to improve their English or to feel more confident speaking in English, I didn't think of teenagers. I thought that the main most of the people who would come was people like our age. But I began to receive some asking, people began to ask me for help, or ask me to help their sons or their daughters, and most of them are teenagers. So now I'm teaching English, or I'm helping a group of teenagers, and for me it's a very, very beautiful experience. You know that you can, this is sharing also, the sharing of different ages, point of view, whatever. All we can experience that everyone has his ways, but a very rewarding, useful, and from our position, or we are of, everyone can contribute something that is worth to the others. So now, Vivi, it's your turn.
Okay. I'm Viviana. I live in Neuquén, Patagonia, Argentina. Now I'm retired. I live alone in my apartment, the city. I have four children, 2 sons and 2 daughters. They are, ¿cómo dice? Adultos mayores.
Maybe grown up. Maybe. What is the most natural word in English, Jerry? Tell us.
Yeah, adults. They say they are adults.
Adults.
Yes.
And now I hope learn English, spiritual English, with Carina and with my como dice con ustedes, entre todos, ¿no? I learn English because I need I need to speak, and I need listening, because my English is poor, but I understand you, when you speak. But for speak, it's very difficult for me, and now I hope improve English with Carina. And love spiritual English is very motivate for me. And well, okay, that's all.
Oh, very good. You can also say, this is, it comes to me another word that is beautiful, that is encouraging. When something motivates you, is encouraging, maybe. Use this word also. Okay.
Can I ask you a question to Viviana?
Yes.
What do you like to do as when you have free time, hobbies, interests?
I love natural life. I love tree, plants, animals, and I love have walking in the mountain. I love travel in the tree, in the lake, national park in my state. There in my state, there is a lot of national park, very important, and they are beautiful, and I love walking. Sería senderismo, ¿cómo sería?
Trekking, trekking.
Trekking. I love trekking, and I walk to travel and trekking a lot.
Yes. I think that all of us like or love being in contact or close to nature. This is wow, very beautiful. Okay, so today, now we are going to start. I don't know if you know Nisargadatta Maharaj. He was an Hindu teacher, and well, that's why we are going to read a text, one of his texts. But at first, let's see this introduction. Let's see a bit about his life, and not because it's essential or very important to have information about other people's life, but because for me it's a way of seeing that these people that are spiritual masters or teachers are people like us, simple people, and many times they had very simple lives, and like us, so they are not superhuman people. They are people like us. Okay, who wants to start reading a bit about Nisargadatta Maharaj, the text that Vivi, do you want?
Yes. Yes, Sri Nisargadatta. Okay.
Yes, it's a bit, you know that
Nisargadatta.
Names are a bit difficult for us, but yes. Let's Nisargadatta Maharaj.
Maharaj. 1897, 1981, was a spiritual teacher from India. His early life was patchy and disconnected, and he grew up almost without education, helping his father in simple labors such as working in the field and running around. So his life was simple. He was gifted with an inquisitive mind.
Inquisitive mind.
Inquisitive mind.
Yes. You know that I sometimes is in something that is kind of difficult in English is that there this thing of the pronunciation that well that there are no fixed rules, or that we have many ways of pronouncing the different ways of pronouncing the vowels. Not like in Spanish that we say we have 5 vowels, I, O, U, and that's all. In English, we have A, well. And well, sometimes what happens with the Q, I think that and there are, another thing that happens is there are a rule and many exceptions.
More exceptions sometimes.
But from my experience, let's say, what I found about the Q in English is like it is different from Spanish, that the U of the Q is pronounced. We don't pronounce it in Spanish. We say que, quien, but they say question, they say inquisitive. Is like this, Jerry, or not?
Yes.
The U is pronounced. So this is a useful kind of rule that you may remember, and it makes you easier to pronounce. When you find a Q in English, the U, remember, is pronounced. This is now that I say this, another word came to me, that is quiet. Quiet is a word that we use a lot in this context. What is to be quiet? And that's why it is the vowels are long, because we have three vowels. We also have the U of the Q. In Spanish, we say quieto, por ejemplo. No decimos quiet. Esa U, esa uno la pronunciamos. But in English, you say question, you say quiet, you say quiet. Okay. So, and this is the first interesting thing here. When the text says he grew up almost without education, without formal education. He didn't go to school. When he was, this book was not written by him. All his talks were not written. Someone else wrote his talks, and then they compiled them and make it into a book. But and in spite of this, he was a very wise person. So that what this shows us, that there is we don't learn only by books, and we are so used to learn by that the source of learning is our books or the school, and well, there are another source of learning, and it is what? This is something that is very important, and why one of the purposes why we are here. When I say this is another way of learning, it means that one thing that is very important for me and is to connect, to help you, or to make this space a space that helps us to connect you know that we say it's a space to go within or to look inside, to connect. There are many, many ways of saying the same, to connect with the presence of God within us. Or we can also say to connect with our intuition. This is another way of learning. And what is our intuition? The voice of God that is inside us. And for me is the most important thing, because this voice is unique. God speaks to us in a unique way, a way that can only ask and hear. And that's why you know that many of the teachers say, you are your own teacher. This is the meaning of this. So that's why, and the thing that this is unique not only means that you have to keep this knowledge or this wisdom to you. You connect with this and then you can share it with others. Okay, so what else? There is something that you, and I like this expression when he says he was gifted with an inquisitive mind. What is a synonym of inquisitive, for example? Are you inquisitive?
¿Es
What is-
inquisitivo?
Yeah. What is to be inquisitive?
The synonym.
Yes, a synonym.
Inquisitivo.
What would be a synonym of inquisitive?
More inquisitive is more.
Or what are connected or related words? How is a person who is inquisitive? What are the characteristics, the features of an inquisitive person?
Persistente, como,
Tallista.
¿cómo es en inglés? Persistent.
Yes, and curious, open.
Curious.
Yes. And what is to be gifted with something? A gift?
Gift es un regalo.
Yeah.
Gift.
Like a
And
don.
yes, in spiritual language is a don also. A don.
¿Es un don? ¿Es un
Yes.
don?
A don, and also is un regalo, también podemos
Yes.
decir a gift or a present. But in this case, also, and what is the difference between a don and a don is also a gift? O sea, un don también es un regalo, ¿no? Porque es algo que nos es dado. But what is the difference between a gift, a don, and a regalo? That a gift as a don is what? It's something that...
External. From the
No,
person.
a gift, o sea, a don, it's something that we come from with this, to this earth. It's like a gift of God. We are born with this. Un don is something natural that we have. Something that is easy for us. For instance, or for example, maybe your gift is to play the violin. For you, is something this connection with music And maybe you have it since you were a child. It came with you. This, como esa inclinación, I don't know how to say it in English, como esa tendencia o esa inclinación natural hacia algo que tenemos. Y that we like it, we love it, and we can do it very well, naturally. We need to practice, but we have something that is natural, that we
born with us.
Yes.
We born
then with this potential or this, then we can practice and make it or improve it. But it's something that comes with us to this. When we are born with this. This is a gift. Okay.
Inclination in English. Yes.
No, there is another word to say. No sé, ¿cómo sería, Sherry? Una inclinación o una tendencia o una predisposición sería in Spanish. To a tendency, yes, or something that is you are born with.
We use the word inclination too.
Inclination.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know other.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like
attraction.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is another beautiful thing that happens here. That I like this when we begin to explore words, and we use words as we say that words are like bridges or like portals that takes us, and in this sharing, we experience but because also a word, the same word has different meanings to each of us. It has a different impact in us. And sometimes we can put it into words and sometimes we can't. But sometimes, although we can't find the perfect word, the other can understand what we are trying to say. Okay, so let's go on a bit more. Annie, do you want to go on?
Okay. As a young man, he moved to Bombay and later became a small shopkeeper. His business flourished, giving him some financial security. He got married and had children, leaving the usual humdrum. He got married and had children, living the usual humdrum and eventless life of common man.
Yes, the usual. You know that sometimes the U in English is pronounced like a U because the name of the vowel is U. But not always. Not always. That's why.
Usually.
Usually, very good. Usually.
Usually.
That's why for us, because in Spanish we say U and that's all. And that's why, and then we laugh. But in a word like difficult is pronounced differently. So, and we have always, almost Argentinian who love football or soccer. We have the example of Carlitos Tevez, who always said difficult. So then we remember, it is not difficult, it's difficult. Okay, well, so, but we have to be patient with ourselves. And this is another thing that is very beautiful and useful to know and be comfortable with. Just be at ease with this. That you have to remember that the same happens. What happens when you listen to a foreigner speaking in Spanish? Maybe he doesn't pronounce well, but you understand what they are saying.
Yes.
They are trying, and you don't feel uncomfortable listening to other who is not pronouncing in the most accurate way or in a perfect way. What is the main purpose? To communicate, to interact. So you have to bear this in mind for English also. It doesn't matter if you don't pronounce. We can practice, we can improve, we can learn a better way of expressing or pronouncing it in English, but we don't have to feel. Sometimes people don't want to talk, but because they feel they can't pronounce well. We are here for this. This is the main, and take it into account when you meet others also, meet other people, or when you travel abroad or whenever. This is the most important thing, to communicate, to interact, and to share. Okay, so yes, I marked here these two words, patchy and humdrum, because I didn't know the meaning. Sometimes you can infer the meaning from the context. When here it says it had a patchy and disconnected, it was, you can infer the meaning, but well, a patchy means irregular, inconsistent, or incomplete. Something that has parts missing or doesn't flow smoothly. So these adjectives that are kind of describing how was his life when he was a child means that he didn't have a very smooth, or maybe there were many changes or instability in his life. And in spite of this, he became or he could be a very wise and spiritual teacher. Okay, and maybe I found this example for everyday use of this word. My internet connection is patchy, maybe. Yes, it happens to me. When you know that in Spanish we say, esto se cae, a cada rato se cae internet all the while. It's unstable, or it's, well, it's patchy. We can say, my connection today is patchy. Sorry. Okay. Well, here it is explained. It works sometimes, sometimes not. Okay. Well, and this word, humdrum, how is this word pronounced? Humdrum, maybe, or how it is pronounced? That
humdrum.
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 Yes. What is, and he says, humdrum and eventless life. You remember that we also see that in English, and most in spiritual English, it is important to know the meaning of the suffixes, because it helps us to know the meaning of the word. And there are two suffixes that in spiritual English are used a lot. One is the suffix less, and the other is the suffix ness. Maybe, well, there we will what does the suffix less means? It means, what does it mean? That it's an eventless life. It's a life without events. The suffix less means without. That, for instance, another word that we see a lot in this context. We talk about timeless life or endless life. What is something that is timeless? It has no time, without time. Endless, without end. So here in this case, an eventless, this is a thing that is useful for you to remember, that when you have these words, when you find a word that ends with less, it means this. It's kind of, it means without the thing that is plain at the beginning. Kind of this. Okay, so that he had the eventless life of a common man, he says here. Eventless, it was like routinary or without, here it's this means that his life was very ordinary, or nothing exciting or special happens. It follows the same routine every day. It's a word that we can use for this in Spanish. It was una vida maybe rutinaria, or maybe for Hendron, because here it says also boring or lacking excitement, maybe monotona, maybe a kind of synonym of this word. Okay, but what happened then to Nisargadatta Maharaj? Let's go on a bit more. Jerry, do you want to go on? Here.
Okay. The turning point came when he met Guru Sri Nisargadatta Maharaj, who gave him a mantra and instructions in meditation. Soon he began having visions and deep inner experiences. Something exploded within him, giving rise to a cosmic consciousness and a sense of eternal life. The identity of Maruti dissolved, and Sri Nisargadatta emerged.
Yes, because his name, the name he was given at birth was Maruti, and then Nisargadatta was his spiritual name. So, and what happens next to him? Go on a bit more.
Okay. He came to see that most people live in self-consciousness, seeking self-satisfaction and self-glorification. But there are seers who live in the world of cosmic consciousness. After his realization, he understood that eternal life was not to be sought for. He already had it. Going beyond the I am the body idea, he had acquired a state so joyful, peaceful, and glorious that everything appeared to be worthless compared to it. He had attained self-realization.
Okay.
The word compare is missing the D at the end, should be compared to it.
He had acquired
that everything appeared to be worthless compared to it.
Ah, yes, yes.
La décima. Pasado de compare.
Yes. Everything compared to it. To be worthless, yes, compared to it. Here, yes. The D was missing. And here we have another word with less, worthless. What is something worthless? Something that has no value. That is what he found, that state that is the same state that we can find also. We can say it's.
You also have the word acquired to be understood.
Yes.
Just to say the word acquired in the sentence before is using that cue that you mentioned before, the qua.
Yes, acquired. Yes. And another word that is used a lot, that we will see a lot in this spiritual context, is the word beyond. He says, going beyond the I am the body idea. You know that yes. Why this word is used a lot? Because to find God, we have to go beyond. It's also the same as saying going deeper. Because beyond, in Spanish, we would say ir más allá. Or a kind of similar word, maybe to transcend. And you know that we always, or we usually, one of the main teachings of these masters are, you are not the body, you are not your mind. It is not that you are not the body. You are not only your body. That's why here it says to go beyond the I am the body idea. That in fact, to experience, not only to learn, because we read it in a book. This is what we can experience. That's why we say that spirituality is something experiential. When can we experience this of going beyond the idea of the body? That when we can experience that we are not only the body.
Yes, when I have meditation.
Yes, when we meditate. And why this happens to us? Because we change the focus of our attention. We stop giving attention to our thoughts and we focus here. And we can experience that when we are not thinking and we are not giving our energy to the thoughts that come, and there is silence. And this silence means not only not talking. It means this is to be quiet. What we begin to experience, that this kind of merge, or that this word comes to my mind, I remember the other day when we have a talk, Jerry, that you mentioned, you used the word communion many, many times. And I remember that in one of the satsangs of Muji, he said one day, I like this word, communion. For me, it's more than connection. Because when you connect, it implies that two different things meet. But when you commune, it's like you dissolve in something, you merge in something that, and you become one. That is the difference. So this is the sense or the experience we have when we meditate. Are not our priority, and we're not interfering, or are there, but we don't care about them. We can go deeper, and this, or we can go beyond. And there, here he's trying to describe, this is the state that is so joyful, peaceful, and glorious. And well, maybe this is self-realization. What is self-realization? To realize our true self. This is our true self. That we are not only this body. And there were many words with less appear to describe what we are. We are endless, timeless. This is what we are. Okay, my friends. We are going to finish with the reading of this text for today because it's almost time. But we usually to finish our meetings, we try to put into practice all we have been saying during this meeting. Because we say that spirituality is experiential. So we try to do some minutes of contemplation or a meditation together. I chose for today, and sometimes it is a guided meditation or contemplation, guided by one of the masters. Maybe in this case, I chose a contemplation by Muji that lasts 5 or 10 minutes, and it is called intuitive being. First I will show you the transcription, and then we are going to listen to it. I will invite you to close your eyes then, and just to connect to do this that we were talking about, to don't pay attention to your thoughts for a while and just focus on your heart. And you will listen to him saying, these are some of the phrases. He talks in this contemplation that is called intuitive being. He talks about the same we were talking about. He says, upon arising in the morning, as consciousness surfaces, the first knowing, the first message of life is the sense I am. Before any thought, before the functioning of the senses. That awareness, I am, is the registration, I exist. He always Muji always try to only guide us, just guide us into this sense of that what happens when we stop giving attention to our thoughts. We begin to this sense of I am. And what is this sense of I am? Just the sense that we exist, we are, just be. So, and well, we can read one more paragraph and then let him speak to us. Annie, do you want to read this one? And then
Okay. Simply be aware of the I am without going to other things, without picking up the mind as yet, without getting into any shape. Stay with that feeling I am, I exist.
okay, so it's as simple as this. But as it is so simple, sometimes it is difficult for us. Why? Because we are very used to engage with every thought that comes. But, well, let's try to do it. I will just well, let me check. Yes, it is set. Yes, for 10 minutes. So you will hear a gong at the beginning. Then he speaks, and then a period of silence for us to make space and to enjoy this silence within us. And then when it's finished, we will hear the gong again. Okay, let me check if the sound is connected. Here. Well, here we go.
Beloved, pay attention to this. Upon arising in the morning, as consciousness surfaces, the first knowing, the first message of life is the sense I am. Not the words I am, but the awareness I am. Before any thought, before the functioning of the senses, that awareness I am is the registration I exist. It is not personal. It is the announcing of consciousness. Observe this I am sensation or being or feeling without identifying with it. Just be aware of this I am. Try to observe it without creating a picture of it. Simply be aware of the I am without going to other things, without picking up the mind as yet, without getting into any shape. Stay with that feeling. I am, I exist. From the mind will come some images to represent this I exist feeling, like your name, or some relationship, some connectedness. But those are after the rising of I am. Try and keep the attention only upon the sense I am, the awareness I am. In the beginning, the play of distractedness will come.
Thank
soon.
you.
Have
Thank
a
you.
very beautiful
Bye-bye.
day, and try to stay connected.
Beautiful day for us.
Beautiful day.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.